Skinny Hardaway 17, back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy. My bad, y'all. My bad, y'all. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy. Whether it's your first time, don't make it your last time. Do your boy a solid. Hit that subscription button there as well. We talk to this good boxing, MMA, sports, parlay, prediction every single day, not just today. I be doing the sound. I be doing the sound check. I didn't realize I had the damn TV that loud. But appreciate y'all folks sliding through, man. I got my free pick of the week, right? Um, I was going to try to pick, you know what I mean, a little lesser fight, right? But this week it's not the biggest of biggest names, right? Fighting this week. This fight in particular, right? Nick Bowden and Brandon Figueroa, indeed would be the biggest, fight this weekend. So I said, what the hell, man? I'll go ahead and predict this one. This is probably going to be the most interesting fight of the week, right? Nonetheless, it'll be for Nick Ball's championship belt. Um, right. So Nick Ball's title will be on the line. Nick Ball is the WBA champion, right? If I'm not mistaken, yeah. Nick Ball is the WBA champion. Figueroa, this is Figueroa's like damn, like what? It's like Figueroa's always fighting for a title, huh? Right. But this is for the WBA championship title, right? Nick Bald is coming off a win over Sam Goodman, UD. He stopped TJ Doheny, which I predicted, stopped Ronnie Ronios, right? And then he won the title, split decision versus Raymond Ford, right? This fight is going to be at featherweight. Maria, what's good, Maria? Appreciate you sliding through. This fight is going to be at featherweight, right? Nick Ball, 23-0 with one draw, 13 KOs, 28 years old, 5'2". Yes, you did hear that right. He is 5'2". He's going to be fighting Brandon Figueroa, who's 26-2-1 with 19 KOs. He's 5'9" with a 72.5-inch arm reach, right? So Brandon Figueroa is the taller fighter, right? He has the longer arm reach as well. We gonna get into that a little later, right? His last fight, he's coming off a win over Joet Gonzalez, a loss to Stephen Coolboy Fulton. He knocked out Jesse Magadeleno, uh, beat Mark Mixayo before that, stopped Carlos Castro, and then another loss to Kubo Fulton, and then he stopped Luis Neary, right? So Brandon Figueroa has a couple good wins in there, man. If I do say so myself, man, when you just look at it in its totality, he's been in some big fights. He's been on the biggest stages. He's won some, he's lost some, but he's most definitely, been on some of the biggest stages up until this point, right, in his career. You got Sam Goodman, TJ Doheny, Raymond Ford, Ronnie Royce, Ray Vargas, Isak Dogbe, right? And you can throw Isaac Lowe in there. You can throw Isaac Lowe in there too. He said I could have got lit out right last night, but I hesitated. Yeah. Ryo came through for us. Ryo came through for us. Boxing Wiz. Shout out my guy, Boxing Wiz. Appreciate you sliding through. Talking about that Zuffa card uh last night, right? So Nick Ball has a pretty, impressive resume as well, right? So I mentioned that Brandon Figueroa is going to be the much taller fighter with the much longer reach, right? But Brandon Figueroa is also a fighter who likes to fight on the inside, right? So if he chooses to maybe attempt to fight more in range, who's to say he will be successful? And I think eventually, right, once that fight, gets sticky, right, once it gets really going, he's going to naturally revert back to what he likes to do, Brandon Figueroa, and that's really fighting the inside. He's a fighter who gives up his height in just about every fight. He enjoys giving up his height because, again, he likes to fight on the inside, right? So he's going to allow Nick Ball inside. So I think this fight, majority of this fight will be fought on the inside, right? So both fighters are going to be right where they want to be in this fight, right? For people who love, you know what I mean, slugfest, for people who love minimum defense, right? All offense, for people who love, a lot of punches being thrown in fights, you're going to love this fight, right? It's kind of a tricky situation, kind of a funny fight because neither of these guys are considered massive, massive knockout punchers, right? But they have knockouts, right? Brandon Figueroa probably has more knockouts than you realize. Gumbo was good, right? Figueroa probably has more knockouts. I'm gonna do the fan appreciation video right after this, y'all. So y'all stick with me, right? Just the fight prediction. Let me get through this, and then we go run down the week, man. We go chop it up. We go chop it up. We go chop it up. Right. Yes, he was. Yes, he was boxing wins. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. But these guys throw a whole lot of punches, right? But neither of these guys are just, world beaters when it come to the power. If we're going power edge, like maybe punch for punch, maybe it's Nick Ball, but Nick Ball's going to be giving up a lot of size and heightness, but neither of these guys are going to be really hard to find, right? So that makes it, a little more interesting. My first mind tells me that neither of these guys will get knocked out. Neither of these guys have ever been knocked out. Nick Ball has been in some wars. Brandon Figueroa has been in some wars. I've seen both these guys, cut and bleeding, but never knocked out, right? Never really on the verge of where I thought they probably would be getting knocked out, right? But I do think these guys are going to be trading. Uh, for betting wise, right? If you're betting on the knockout, it's way more valuable than it would be if you're betting this fight to go the distance, right? My first mind tells me that, they probably do go the distance because nobody's been knocked out. But as far as value wise, all the values with them, landing a knockout or not going the distance. Style wise, I think, it's not a style clash at all. These guys have the same style. This is going to be an inside fight, right? Which is what I was alluding to. It's going to be basically this is going to be a war of attrition and will. Both these guys are attrition and will fighters. I don't think all of a sudden we're going to see these fighters bust out jabs and lateral movement and ring movement and be defensive magicians all of a sudden, right? I think we're going to get exactly what we're going to get. Fights like this are going to be hard to score, but I do think fights like this do lean towards the more damaging punches. Who's coming forward, right? Who's landing the cleaner, more effective punches? Brandon Figueroa, if he fights at mid range or a distance, right, he has a chance, to win this fight. But I've never really seen him do it. I've seen him try to do it, but eventually revert right back to what he's comfortable at, going in the inside. So I think it's going to be an inside fight. I believe Nick Ball is going to be on the front foot. I do believe Nick Ball, out of these two, right, is the more of he's the harder puncher, right? Out of these two, both these guys are extremely active, but I think Nick Ball will be at the choreographer of the fight, right? I think he'll control the choreography of the fight. He'll be able to make that impression on the judges, and with him having, I think, the power edge, I think he's more inclined, if there was a stoppage, to maybe get one later, right, rather than earlier, right? So I'm saying Nick Ball is going to win this fight. I think it's going to be like Rock'em Sock'em Robots, right? I think it's gonna be a war of attrition, and I'm taking Nick Ball to put it out. Nick Ball is a bleeder, right? He does bleed, so we probably will get blood in this, but I think he'll be able to walk forward, press forward, land some big shots, some eye catching shots, right, and be able to get this win. And I'm more inclined to believe that if a stoppage was going to happen, it'll come from the Nick Ball side. But I will say all the value in this would be, to either take this fight to not go the distance, right? Or, take Figueroa. But I'm picking Nick Ball to win this fight. I think it's going to be a harder fight to score because it's going to be a lot of punches thrown, and these guys are going to be giving one another hell, right? But I do got Nick Ball in this fight. My best bet would be just take Nick Ball on the money line, maybe parlay it with another one of these free picks I'm gonna give away, right? I'm going to give away UFC free pick. I'm going to give away a PFL free pick, right? And I'm gonna give away NFL Super Bowl free pick, right? The whole card picks in the know my, final bets and whatnot. You have to be a member to to get the final picks, the final bets, to know exactly uh what we're doing. You don't have to be a member to bet. You have to be a member to, get the final picks on what I'm betting, right? And we had a really good week last weekend as a whole over here on this channel. So we gonna try to continue that this week as well. But a free pick is Nick Ball, and I'm leaning towards the money line would be my best bet, right? So I would say Nick Ball on the money line. If you want a little more value, I am thinking it goes the distance. Right. So I would say Nick Ball decision, but Nick Ball on the money line is the bet. But really, if like you want some real value with both of these guys being sluggers, right? Maybe you do want to take this fight not to go the distance at plus money, or take one of these guys knockout. But first man, Monday morning, right? My lean is that it goes distance, but I would say Nick Ball for the win is a lot. I don't think that's gonna change pretty much. I don't believe Figueroa is the fighter that he used to be, and I think with this being a Nick Ball promotion, him being the A side, it being in his backyard, right? Going to be more inclined to, edge Nick Ball, right? So Nick Ball for the win on the money line. Y'all make sure y'all tune back in for the fan appreciation video, and that's when we go talk about, our plays and whatnot, right? So pull back up, boxing with. Appreciate y'all folks sliding through this thing, man. It's getting harder way studying T. This ain't the past. This ain't the future. Just the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Look. Nick Ball on the money line.